Okay. And to everyone who's joining us via live stream and who's live here in the meeting with me, thank you for joining us. These Thursday Zoom Meetups are the public-facing part of the vidwheel Creator Network. And what is the VCN? It's a group that brings together consultants and solopreneurs who aspire to take our businesses to the next level using self-produced video. We draw on my experience and the experience of the community as a whole to guide you through the process of making video work for your business while avoiding the pitfalls. If you find that intriguing, this might just be the group for you. And the easiest way to learn more is to book a quick no strings attached meeting to talk video and talk about the group itself. There's a booking link within the live stream, and I've dropped one in the chat for folks who are here live. We also have a lot of free resources available. That link is in the live stream notes as well. And one last note, sorry, I'm letting somebody in. One last note, this live stream's a great preview of the vidwheel Creator Network, but if you want to get the full experience, join us at the next meeting, the Zoom meeting, like the folks who are in here with me, and that is going to kick off Storytelling Month. It's on Thursday, June 2nd, and we'll be back to 8 p.m. on that one. It's featuring Barb Olsofsky, Hack Your Brand with Strategic Storytelling in Your Videos. What story is the world creating about your brand? You have more control over it than you might think. And I'll say I highly recommend this presentation. I've gone through it myself, and if you've noticed any tweaks to how I present vidwheel and the Creator Network recently, that's the result. Info on that event and following events can be found at events.vidwheel.com, and you can find it in the link in the description of this live stream. So with all that, I'm going to say, let's move on to the main event. We're going to hear from LinkedIn expert Rachel Simon, and she'll be presenting how to leverage video on LinkedIn. Video is a great medium for the platform. It can be quick and easy to produce and gives you a chance to get yourself out there and build your expert status and meet people before you meet them. A meeting like this is a great example. And if you aren't using video on LinkedIn, you are missing out. With that, I'm going to kick it over to Rachel here. Rachel, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. The floor is yours.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. I love talking about LinkedIn. I talk about it all the time, much to probably the chagrin of people who have to listen to me in my house talk about it all the time. But I have a company and I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia, and my company, Connect the Dots Digital, I work with professionals to really help them build their LinkedIn presence from the foundation of a great profile, understanding who's in their network, how to utilize content, and all of those work together to meet specific business goals. So content is one of the pieces I'm really, really passionate about. I absolutely love talking about content, helping my clients understand how to utilize content and a content strategy and a content tool that we can utilize effectively on LinkedIn are videos. So there's three main areas that I'm going to just cover today as far as where you can use video to kind of help enhance your LinkedIn strategy and presence. So those are in your profile, which is your profile video, in your content, and through the direct messages. So let's start talking about profile videos. So does anybody have a profile video? Do you know what I'm talking about? So LinkedIn rolled out, I'm going to share some examples. Y'all can see my screen. Last year, maybe about a year ago, based on, they rolled out a sort of different format for your profile called creator mode. A lot of new features happened at the same time. So there was a little bit of kind of confusion and conflation as far as what went with what. But around the same time, creator mode rolled out, this other function rolled out called cover video. And what that is, it's now called profile video, is a 30-second video. It was 20, they moved it to 30, that sits under your profile photo. So on my profile here, if you're new to visiting my profile, you would see a purple ring around my profile photo, and that would tell you that there's a video there to watch. So this is a great way to introduce people to you. You get 30 seconds, and you can give a little 30-second overview of who you are, what you do, why you do it, and why someone should connect with you. There's so many examples. I did put a resource sheet together for you, and in that there's a link to 2 blog posts from somebody. I'm going to show you her profile video in a second, Jillian Whitney, who has tons of examples of people's profile videos. But this is such a nice new addition for personal branding, to immediately make a great impression with somebody, and maybe to have a little bit of fun. So first I'm going to show you Jillian's, because hers is a pretty traditional profile video. So I'm going to click on it. And
thanks for checking out my LinkedIn profile. I'm a video marketing coach, and what that means is I can help you with your LinkedIn video. So whether you need help getting over the fear of being on camera, figuring out what to say when the camera is on, or all the techie stuff that's involved with video, I can help. Follow me for video marketing tips, or if you're interested in getting the conversation going, let's connect.
So nice, quick, sharp, this is what she does. This is who she helps. Very, easy to film. You can also have a little fun with it. So I'll play you mine. So my husband is a songwriter. That's his hobby and his passion. And he had written a song for me. And then we decided to use it for my cover video. So this is mine. If it looks.
Tracking of the trend, a master of together with the messages she sends. Great on the computer, even better when she's in the room. LinkedIn girl, LinkedIn girl, LinkedIn girl.
So anyway, we had a lot of fun making that video. Maybe a little bit too much fun, because I was like, what if it's a post? Because we had to have the words on it. I'm like, what if it's a post? And I'm like, and then what if I come to life in the profile photo? And then he managed to figure out how to make it all come together, because I have absolutely no idea how to do that. So the point is that you can have a lot of fun with it. It doesn't have to be you talking into your phone. It can be use it. You can create video in a multitude of ways. And I know you're learning lots of different ways to create video through this group. So I've seen some people use their Memoji, they're on iOS as their video. I've seen some people put a slide deck together, basically with music behind it that talks about what they do. So there's a lot of options for how to utilize the profile video if you don't necessarily want to just talk into your phone. Do y'all have any questions about that while I try to get back to my profile here?
I have a quick question, Rachel. Would you like me to share that resource now, or should we wait till the end? Or do you want to share it yourself? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can just try to get back to my profile. Any questions on profile videos? Stop sharing for a second. Do y'all have any examples, people you've seen who you think have just knocked it out of the park with their profile video?
Do you know which one I usually recommend, actually? Yours. So, I know it didn't come across real well on on Zoom, but I encourage everyone to go find Rachel's profile video and check that out, because it's very unique, and yeah, it's got a lot of good production value there.
Thank you. I'll tell my husband that he did a really, really good job on it. Yeah. And, you know, I think what is the thing about these video tools is that, you know, you play with them and figure out how to use them, and kind of learn along the way. So a lot of them are fun to experiment with and have a good time. Okay. Here comes my, trying to get my profile here to cooperate. So I really hope everyone will definitely, you know, consider adding a video on their profile, because it is such great real estate, and it's really a missed opportunity if you don't take advantage of being able to utilize those 30 seconds. And I know in our breakout room, Gina was saying that's her goal, to get a little quick video up about who she is and what she does. So Gina, that's exactly where that video needs to live. And then you can repurpose it on your other social channels as you need. So that's sort of on your profile where you want video to live. You can also, another great place to utilize video, and it would probably be in the links, you know, more as a link, is in the featured section. And so if you go about midway down on your profile, you can add this section here, which you can feature specific content. So you may want to add a YouTube video here. You know, this is a section that you can switch up as needed. So let's say, you know, you do a regular video series, maybe you add your most recent video and change it up every month, every couple of weeks, but putting in, I would definitely use at least 3. As you can tell, like I have 4, but you can barely see the 4th one here. So I actually think 3 is the sweet spot for the featured section, because I don't think people are going to scroll through tons of content here. So this is another nice spot for videos to live, if you're looking for where they can actually help on your profile. So let's move on to talk about video when you're actually making videos to be sharing on LinkedIn. So you have a couple of options. You can obviously upload natively onto LinkedIn, or you can link to a YouTube or a Vimeo. So interestingly, again, in our little breakout, Barb was saying her uploads don't do as well as far as posts are concerned, like views, as her links to YouTube. So I would test it and see what works for your audience. You know, the thing about LinkedIn is that it's all about testing, because what works for one person may not work for another. Now, and generally what's interesting to me is the guidance is really always upload natively, but in Barb's case, she has more success linking to YouTube. So again, test and see. When you are doing video, so when I don't do a ton of video, I will say, and that's my own personal hang up. I probably need to join the group to get more like confident in putting videos out there. But I host an audio event, a LinkedIn audio event every Tuesday. And 2 weeks ago, the topic was on video. I usually do a recap post after the fact. And I decided to make my recap post a video, since the topic was video. And so I created this video using an app on my phone, Apple Clips, if you're familiar with Apple Clips, because it's super easy to use. You can add live titles as you're talking and then go back and edit it. And it's really, for somebody like me that's not very sophisticated on the editing side, it is extremely easy to put a video together start to finish. This one I think took me 30 minutes, and that was including the filming. So I did a little video about my my video event, and you can see it has captions, and I kind of these were the takeaways. So I filmed a takeaway in each section. So it's like a tour of my house while sharing the different tips from the video event. I know there's tons of other tools out there that you can utilize. So if you don't have an iPhone, there's lots of other apps like, Clipchamp. There's another one that I'm forgetting. It's on that list that I will send to y'all at the end, but there's lots of great resources and tools that make creating videos very easy. And then, when you upload it, you want to add some information in the post about what your video is about. So don't be afraid to repeat some of the content that's in your video in your post when you share your video. CapCut, that was the one I was thinking about. I do want to stress the value and importance of captions. It's so important to add captions to your videos. The reason being is twofold. Number one, for inclusivity and accessibility. So we want to make sure that people in the deaf community are able to enjoy our videos and not have a silent movie, because when there's no captions, they don't know what the video is about because they can't hear the video. But more importantly, the default for video playing on LinkedIn is no volume, which is probably the best because it can get very off-putting when you're scrolling your newsfeed and suddenly, you hear a lot of noise from videos, whether you want to watch them or not. But most people do watch videos without the sound, or they're more likely to watch the whole video when they can read along with the captions. So videos with captions get a significantly higher view rate than videos without captions. So there is a sort of thing happening on LinkedIn today, happens to be Global Accessibility Awareness Day. I looked, that post from came up in my newsfeed this morning, and there's something called the Caption Pledge. So really for creators to take the pledge to always add captions to their videos. I'll tell you personally, when I see a video, I see this all the time, video from someone who I enjoy their content, I like to follow them, but a 3-minute long video with no captions, I'm not going to watch it. There's no way I'm going to watch that video because it's very long and there's no captions in it. So please, please, please add captions to your videos. There's so many resources, again, free and also reasonably priced, like rev.com is a great resource for that, where you can add captions easily and inexpensively, and it really will make a huge difference when it comes to your video content. So I'm going to definitely try to do this one on Apple Clips was pretty simple, so it inspired me that video isn't so hard to do on LinkedIn, and it got a lot of views. 1,700 impressions. That's pretty high for a video. And, they're very engaging. They tend to get a good amount of engagement when you create a video because people like to see the way you talk, the way your personality is, and all of those various things. Questions about video content, how to use it, how to create it.
Anybody have any questions on that? Laura did pose another question that might be good for an offline conversation, but you can maybe touch on it now. She's wants to learn more about the audio events that you're doing.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. We can talk about that in the kind of more open Q&A. I can share what that is because audio events is pretty new on LinkedIn, and a lot of people I don't think necessarily know what that is, what that function is. Okay. So the other great place that you can pepper in your video use is in the direct messages. Now, I know we all get a lot of messages. We get a lot of sales pitches. We get a lot of messages that may not necessarily be targeted to us. But sometimes it can really break through the noise when somebody sends a video through the direct messages. So this person, Mick here, if it will open up here, he sent me this message. So I actually really appreciate that he added this, piece of paper with my name on it to show me that this isn't just like a cut and paste message that he sends to everybody. unless everybody he knows is named Rachel. I'm pretty sure that's not the case. But he sent me a little introduction message, and that was nice. And I've gotten a couple, I can probably count on one hand the number of messages, video messages I've received from new connections. But I can tell you exactly who those people are because I remember them, and it broke through the noise, and it made them extremely memorable to me. So this could be a strategy that you could implement as well, is particularly for connections that are really important for you, that you really are excited to be engaged with, is to send them a quick little message. And you can record it in a few ways. On your mobile app, if you go into the message function and start a new message, I'm just going to pretend to send it to my friend here. If you click into write a new message, let's see, oh, there's the video. There's a little video icon in the upper right here. So you click on that and it asks you, wait, hold on, that's not right. I'm like, where's the video? Sometimes things change on here and it gets a little, okay, that's where you do it. You click on the paperclip to the left of the write a message, and there's a function there that says send a photo or take a video, and you can record the video directly from your phone through a message. You can also use a platform called Loom, and Loom's a great one if you're recording, how-to videos, this and the other, but you can make a Loom video and then send the person a link to a Loom video, and then you know exactly how much of it they've watched, and if they've watched it. So that's just another, that's like I would call that, a advanced networking tip. If you want to utilize video, you really love video to pepper in that into your outreach strategy, to show who you are and introduce yourself to new people. So those are really the three main areas where video can really help cement your LinkedIn presence. I would really encourage everybody before you dive deep into some of these things, to make sure that you've got the basics of your profile taken care of, because you want to make that great first impression through your video, and you want your profile to be able to support that impression that you're making with these new connections, or potential connections. So you could put a great video together, but if they land on your profile and your profile is sort of out of date, incomplete, you're kind of backpedaling to a certain extent. So make your profile to a place where it's really clear what you do, and then use that video to really hit a home run and cement that relationship and make a great first impression. So hopefully that was some helpful information, and I'm happy to take questions about video, about LinkedIn in general. We can talk about audio events. The sky's the limit.
Okay, that sounds great. Let's start with, let's talk about the audio events a little bit, and I'll drum up some other questions here from
Sure,
folks.
yeah. So LinkedIn rolled out, if you're familiar with Clubhouse, LinkedIn rolled out audio events a couple of months ago, about 3-4 months ago. And basically it's like a function of Clubhouse where it is a audio only presentation, conversation, Zoom, basically Zoom, without the video, that is native on LinkedIn. So you create it, right now it's in beta, so only about 3,000 users have access to be able to start audio events. And, you create it like an event, you invite people, and then, at the time of the event, people can join the audio room. And there'll be people like on Clubhouse where there's speakers who are on the stage. There's a moderator who can bring people up on stage to join the conversation. And then there's going to be an audience. Right now, they are not recordable, unfortunately. So if you can't join, there's no way to listen later, which is a bummer, but hopefully that will change soon. But they're very fun. I think that they're a nice new tool. It's just because they're so new, there's a lot of kinks to work out with them. So similar function to Clubhouse. Some things are the same, some things are better, some things are could be improved.
Excellent. Hopefully that was
that help?
helpful there. Does anybody have any questions on video on LinkedIn? If not, I always load up a couple questions as we go, and I actually came up with a little bit of a challenge that I would be interested in if you're willing, Rachel. So
Okay.
let's see if anybody will bail you out by asking a question.
Oh, someone asked, is the reach the same as Clubhouse? In audio events, I think the discoverability on audio events is pretty lacking at the moment. So I would say no, the reach is not the same as Clubhouse. You can't just like jump on, you know how on Clubhouse you can open the app and be like, I'm going to start a room about anything, and you'll gather an audience. The audio event functionality is a little harder to discover because they have to be scheduled in advance. The nice thing about it though is that like basically you get a window that pops up in the bottom of your screen. If you can do it on your computer, not just your phone. So that's a nice thing. If you're on your computer, a little screen pops up and you can see all the people that are in the event, and then you can go and look at their profiles. You can DM them, you can connect with them if they would be a good connection for you. So it's a good networking tool native on LinkedIn. It just is not going to, a notification really only goes to people that have RSVP'd for the event, not like your whole network. You know, if I go live, it's not going to say Rachel has gone live to my whole network. It's going to just give a notification to people who RSVP'd. So it's a lot of work on the host to invite people.
Try and fill out the ranks there, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So anybody else? All right, I'm going for it then. Okay, Rachel, so you shared your screen and we got to see that your video recap had 1,700 impressions and you had a good number of interactions, right? Likes and celebrates and comments. So I guess what I would be interested in is, do you have you tried to compare that to text and image posts? And the challenge would be if you want to do it right now.
Oh, to look and see.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? I feel like, every post is so different because it's going to depend on what's the post about, like, are people tagged in it?
Yep.
Is what time of day, when did I post it? This, that, and the other. But I would say though, that for me, that was a pretty successful post. From for a video. And I believe, so, LinkedIn is just switching the way that they do their analytics from views to impressions. So
right.
I believe video impressions are now the same as post impressions, the way they're calculated.
Yeah, and you can drill down in their analytics to get the same old data, the view data if you want it. But that's part of the reason I ask, right? Like there was a lot of talk in the past about videos not getting the reach that, say, a text post or an image post would get. And a big piece of that was that the same analytics didn't show for them, right? It was impressions versus views, and there's a higher kind of burden on a view by the user than there is on the impression, right? An impression just flies by in your feed, and the view was, as per a conversation I had with Alex Sheridan, 3 seconds.
That was 3 seconds.
So it's a different one for paid and for organic. So that's interesting too. But the so like I guess what I'd be interested in is if you had another 1,700 impression post, do you feel like you get more interaction out of
Yeah,
the?
I think that's a fair question. And actually, I just clicked on the analytics on that video, and you actually get pretty good information when you look at it. So that post had 1,700 impressions, which is literally just like it scrolled past 1,700 people, I guess. But it had 347 views from 327 viewers.
Excellent. You got a couple of super fans who watched.
Unless
it
it's me watching it 20 times, which is entirely possible. So I'm sure that some of the, like Alex Sheridans of the world will be doing more understanding of the relationship between impressions and actual views with videos now. So that's really interesting because we don't get that on text posts. We don't get to see the impressions versus like the actual who read it.
Yeah. And that's such a big piece of, like somebody flying by your post. There's not a ton of value there, but if you could see if they paused even for a couple of seconds to read part of it, there's some value there.
Yeah. Although I would actually say that I think there's probably more value to a certain extent when it's a video of you speaking or a photo of you when someone scrolls past, only because of the visual connection of your face.
Right.
So
that's a great point. And I got to the bottom of it, so Alex doesn't have to yell at me. It's 3 seconds for organic views, 2 seconds for paid, and then we can get to Daniel has a question. Do you want to unmute and ask your question, Daniel?
Yeah, actually, I thought I'd try to give a little tip, and that is, people always wonder, well, gee, what kind of content should I create? And this is apropos, whether it's video, text, audio, etc. And that is whatever it is that you do in your field or that you think your clients will be interested in, is think about the questions that they ask. And there are actually many different ways to research that. We have tech to do that. But also, like, for instance, you can go to Quora, which is a website where people ask questions. And if you answer those questions, you have golden content. Yeah. And also, Google will love that as well, because you'll sort of be able to tag team on those search links. So think about answering questions that people have that are, potential clients of yours.
absolutely.
Yes. That's perfect advice. I just put a comment to that effect today. I suggested if you make content, look at your comments that are coming in about your video or posts or whatever, answer those or use those to inform your new content. And if you're not a content creator, just look at your emails and phone calls that come in and those same ones. And Quora is a great online resource. Yeah.
We were just talking about this in our Success Champion networking meeting this morning, which is the networking group that Neil and I are both in. Because one of our members in Atlanta is a bookkeeper, and she's such a depth of knowledge, but she assumes everyone knows what she knows. So she was saying something about, well, if you're a Schedule C, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't even know what that, define that. There's your content right there. I don't know what Schedule C is. Your audience your customers have no idea about the stuff that is second nature to you. So if something feels like in your head, you go, oh, everyone knows that, they definitely don't know it. And they don't know how you present it. Everyone presents their level of expertise from their own specific point of view. So the way you present it is going to be different than the way one of your, competitors presents it. So never assume that people know what you're talking about, and teach them. Video is a great tool for teaching.
Absolutely. Does anybody have, I'm on Daniel's feed there. This is the last meeting
I
too.
noticed that.
Does anybody else have questions for Rachel? All right, we're gonna have to dip back into my my basket of questions. This will probably be last one too. We'll end up shutting down the live stream and going back and maybe having a little more discussion if anybody wants to do anything else there or ask questions who is not currently on screen. So oh, I did just want to mention, you brought up captions and how important they can be and how LinkedIn defaults to silent, no sound video. We tackle that in a couple of different ways. I have a system where you can upload your videos to YouTube, have them create your caption file. It needs a little tweaking. Their software is not that great, but then you can download it and upload it to a platform like LinkedIn or Facebook and get those captions, and they pop up automatically when your video is silent. Another tool, Rev, is a favorite of mine that you mentioned, Rachel, and Descript is a great program that will not only transcribe, but you can then pop your captions on your video if you want them hard coded in there. That is not a question though.
A lot of people also use will use Instagram Reels and to make their videos. You can kind of tell because they usually have a nice looking filter on them. And there's, I believe, native captioning in Instagram. So that's another good tool.
There you go. Yeah. Another way. There's a lot of free options out there. So the excuse is not cost or anything, right? Like, and it's if you think about the actual use case, right? Like somebody scrolling LinkedIn while they're, I don't know, at the office or something like that.
Meeting in a doctor's office.
Yeah,
I mean,
doctor's office. Good one. Yeah, then they're not going to be looking for sound, and they might still be interested in your content. So make it easy. And then there's the ADA compliance factor, which is something to be considered as well, right? So, okay. Well, I think with that, I'm going to move on to our final notes for the live stream crowd, and that'll give us maybe a couple more minutes if anybody wants to ask any questions before we hit that 1 o'clock hour. So I do want to say thank you to everybody who did join us via live stream, and of course to everyone who joined us in the meeting here. Again, don't miss Barb Olsofsky's presentation, which is on Thursday, 6/2 at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's June 2nd, 8 p.m. Eastern. Hack your brand with strategic storytelling in your videos. This event will be published at events.vidwheel.com, and you can find the link in the description of this live stream. So thank you all for coming out.